Good morning, everybody. How you feeling, folks? Good to see you again. Thank you, Sir Paul McCartney. Well, it's good to see you folks again. Hello, Clarice. It's good to see you again. Go get yourself a cup of coffee. I'm operating out of a Keurig now. Thank you, Robert B. I just want to do a Sunday show. Thank you, folks. The numbers are rising. I see JoJo's numbers rising. I see clear skies on its way. No trouble. So, it's a beautiful, clear, cold, brisk Sunday morning. Football in a couple hours. It always felt like it still feel, football would watch, if you're gambling, it's more squeezing. We call it squeezing when you're rooting for your team when there's money. Most of the people are called it squeezing. If you weren't down on something, hey Chris, what are you squeezing for? If you win that 6-teamer, you could throw me a couple dollars. So they're still shoveling out here. I'm on the outskirts of Buffalo. We literally got 4 feet of snow. With a yardstick or whatever, with a measuring tape, yardstick. I hope everybody's having a good weekend. I got my teeth kicked in at the casino, meaning I lost. What a big sucker I am. Sit there and play them things. What a big sucker. Is that all I've learned in all my years, to sit there and rot on a slot machine and just... Well, JoJo, it's better than just sitting in the house doing nothing. Well, there's better things than that to do. There's a lot better things than that to do. Okay? Let's see what the hell's going on here. I appreciate you guys coming in and supporting me. And we're rising up. And we'll see where it goes. I just keep, and I want to do current events. I mean, a lot of people are political and they don't want to hear a lot of that shit. But, I mean, it's the country we live in, and it's the people that are running the country we live in. So, I mean, yeah, it's easy to say, Joe. Yeah, forget about all that. I'm going to go to the beach. I'm going to go to Florida. Screw New York State and all this dumpster state. And yeah, it's easy to say all that. I forgot where I was going with that. And I don't drink. I don't do drugs. Back in the day, I'd be getting all the betting lines, or just, all the game lines. And then I would tweak them, and then I would look at them and adjust some of them. Back then, they always had the half a point. I mean, what a scum move by the They used to put the half. Yeah, the Bills minus 7.5. Why the half? Well, we put the half to make you laugh. Really? And then it lands on 7. You're not laughing anymore. Carolina's at Baltimore. Baltimore's minus 13. Carolina just can't get it together. I don't know. Philly's at Indy. Philly -10. Indy's got the new coach. They're psyched. I don't know. I mean, Philly just fast breaks down the field. You bet Indy. You got to watch. You got to watch them guys rock and roll. And the over/under is 44.5. Well, yeah, they use the halves. What the hell? Am I brain dead? They still do the halves. Back in the years ago, they used to use it. Forgive me, folks. Washington at Houston. Washington -2. Washington -2.5. Even with that quarterback, Taylor, Heineke, whatever. I don't know. I don't trust him. He upset. He did good last week, but I don't know if he can go back to back. The Jets at New England. New England -5.5. The Jets have that defense. Low scoring game. Probably cold weather. 39.5 is the excuse me, back number. Detroit at the Giants -4.5. These look like trap games. Trap. Los Angeles at New Orleans. Cleveland at Buffalo. Buffalo -6. Well, we'll be seeing if Buffalo could stop the run. Excuse me. We'll see if Buffalo could stop their run. All right. Maybe not. And the number is 46.5. Wow. Yeah, it's cold and windy. Cold and windy. 47. The game started at 50 earlier in the week, but it's gone because people are just pounding on the under. Meaning they're betting a lot on the under. Those poor Raiders, man. The Timbuktu Raiders at Denver. Denver's -2.5. That's the kind of game that Raider quarterback. I don't know. He might get it together. Dallas at Minnesota. Dallas is -2.5 at Minnesota. You see how Minnesota played the Bills. That defense is treacherous. That defense is mighty treacherous, my dear friends. While you're at it, hit the like button. And smash me in the face. Since he's -5.5 at Pittsburgh. Traps. Road favorites. A lot of, the road favorites, sometimes it's a charity. I mean, historically speaking, I don't like treading there. Kansas City, -5.5 at the Chargers. Another road favorite. A lot of road favorites. San Francisco at Arizona, road favorite, -5.5. That started at -8.5 earlier in the week, and it went down to 5.5. It's trending. The bettors are trending. Tennessee at Green Bay. Green Bay -1.5. I like Aaron Rodgers. He's not a little wimp. He stood up for his rights. Unlike a lot of those other sports athletes. Those robots. So when years ago you'd have different bookies, and maybe around 1:45, if you were heavy on a side, like around here, everybody was always betting the crap out of the Bills. So you more or less could adjust the line. I mean, if the Bills were -3, I'd open -5 and some of there was a time I was working doing that, but for different people. But then another time in the falls, that was a different thing in the falls with the Colombo family from New York City, Buffalo, Niagara Falls, and they didn't have a guy in Rochester. There was people they knew. I don't know if they just had a side thing because I wasn't privy to all their all their dealings and everything. But just so you could lay off money. So you always want it to balance. Like if the Bills are playing the Jets, you want half the people. You want $1,000 on the Jets, and you want $1,000. It's balanced, and then you make the vig, which could be 5% or 10%. So you root for the ref when it's balanced. Well, what do you need? Well, we're rooting for the ref. Everything's balanced, but so you'd adjust your betting lines sometimes to sway the better if you're getting an enormous amount of bets on Buffalo. And so you'd say, well, just let's make them even minus more to sway the better to bet the Jets, so to speak, for example, so you could balance. But a lot of times you just say, we're not balancing nothing. We're not laying off. We're not going to balance anything. We're not going to lay off anything. We're just going to take the maximum risk. And I just worked. I just worked. I mean, it wasn't my money. It wasn't my money. It wasn't my money. And then there was an outfit that you'd go to call in the lines at 1, and they were never there. It was like, really? You're trying to do business right, and you're saying you want to tell them you want to relay all the bets before kickoff. You want to relay all the bets so everybody's on the same page. Hello, Tom. Yeah, here's what we got, and you just here's all the action. Sometimes they would ignore the call, and there was an entity of people that wanted in, and they wanted to finance, and they had a lot of money, and I don't know what they were thinking, but they took it lackadaisical. So if they didn't care, I didn't care, because then the game's almost over, and they finally call you, and you see most of the games are already decided, and you could just write in some winners. Forgive me, but that's how it used to go. Don't leave your guard down. I was a real good numbers person. I try to do good, efficient work, taking the action, being available, but you had to be married to that. Always getting the lines. Your customers always calling you. And all week. And then when you have to collect, who's going to be, who didn't come? Who stiffed you? Who did this? Who did that? And then you'd have people that would take free shots at you. Betting, they would bet knowing that if they lost, they're not going to pay. And a couple people tried that, but it didn't work. It didn't work. That just didn't work. They paid eventually. And I knew who some of the questionable people were, and then being put in that spot, I knew a lot of degenerate gamblers, and I'd be like, "Nah, buddy, you can't bet. You can't bet." And then they'd take free shots at me, and we're supposed to be friends. We weren't friends when You got to knock on the door at 2:00 in the morning. Forgive me. But yeah, some people couldn't legitimately pay, and they were good, well-intended people, and that was all right. They eventually paid. They weren't Fsters. I mean, but that occupied. Now, up in the falls, when I was running around up there, they were running a big gambling network on that whole eastern seaboard from Canada to Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York City. They were taking big money. I mean, bookies were laying off to other bookies $50,000, $70,000. There's people betting $5,000 a game. Millionaires that like to gamble, and it was illegal back then. There wasn't casinos and DraftKings and all of that shit. But yeah, it was illegal. But when the government jumps into it, it's legal. But yeah, it was an exciting time, and well, people always just most of the people would make like 5 flat bets, not parlays. So with the VIG, you got to go you got to win 4 out of 5, more or less, to make anything. I mean, if you bet 100 on 5 games and you go 3-2, so you win, you got 300, but on the 200 you lose, you got to pay 220. So that's $180 profit. It ain't them. I mean, that's $80. If you bet 5 games, you go 3-2, 300 for the plus, and then 220. So you got to go 3-2 with 5 flat bets to make $80. So a lot of times I knew the guys that were betting those, I wouldn't even call them in. Show me you're going to go 3-2. Show me. So I'd have a separate paper where I just didn't call those bets in. I would just, take a shot on those, which I usually mostly won 99% of the time. People are betting 6 flat bets, 7 flat bets. They never woke up and just said, you got to bet 800% to realize any nominal profit. So I'm just doing this show. Hit the like button while you're up, and hey, we're growing up there. We're approaching 280 now, and everything's good. I really appreciate your support, folks, and we're coming with the gangster stories this week. We're gonna talk about some crazy mafia gangster stories. I gotta do them. And like I said, the old gangsters that are 75, 80, I can't bribe them. I can't get them to sit near here on my couch and just shoot the shit with them and ask them some stories. And there's a couple in the Rochester mob that knew Big Gene and the Western New York families, as well as some of the New York City. But like I said in the other videos, they just can't wrap their head around going on a social media platform and doing a video and talking, because it's a matter of respect also if you're going to talk about a person, and I do it. I mean, even if I talk about Mike Francis and Sammy the Bull, it's like, that's disrespectful. I'll admit it. It's kind of disrespectful. Well, if they do it, Jojo, then it's okay. Well, you know what? Just because they do it doesn't mean that it's still okay. I mean, I do it, but because there's no rules, of course, there's no rules. Everybody's lying. Everybody's just trying to hustle this platform, and that's understandable. But every old timer mafia guy, 60s, 70s years old, frowns upon it, greatly frowns upon it. Even me, that wasn't a made guy, they're like, Jojo, you're smart, you're educated, you know, you got the skills. I like your show. My grandson let me watch my show. Blah, blah, blah. You know, you watch your show. I said, the people like those stories. The world in America has a big appetite for mafia stories. People, you know, so you're gonna do that? Well, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Well, your godfather Mickey wouldn't approve of it. Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm hustling. I'm hustling. I'm trying to do a show. I'm hustling. He said, you better find a better hustle, Jojo. Well, okay. I don't know. I don't know, but there's a couple of crazies that I know that were in the mix, but I don't know if I could do a good interview with them. I just don't know. Because I don't have editing. I don't edit. And I don't trust whatever that might entail, because there's a couple of hotheads, even old, when they're, you know, they're hotheads. They're just hotheads. Even the boss in Niagara Falls, Sam M. I misspoke a couple times in front of him, and his eyes turned. It looked like he was the devil. His eyes shifted. His face when I was running around, and then they tried to freaking there was a failed ambush on me, and I didn't appreciate it that he couldn't control his guys trying to rob him, and they tried to ambush me, and I just thought, well, okay, this guy's an old man, but man, that fire that came in his eyes, he looked like a crazy 30-year-old. He wasn't 75 years old or however old he was. I was like, I'm sorry. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do it. But I did, because the money, which they weren't paying me shit anyways, but that was straightened out afterwards. But all those crew members were all degenerate gamblers. Bad beats. You know, on ESPN, when you see the bad beats. And they used to have people to put bets in for them, because Sam started getting stricter about the people in his organization betting into betting against him. His own employees, you guys like to say crew, but they were betting into him, and they would blow their money every week. And they had a couple rooms at the club where isolated, where there would be, I think, for just the high rollers, somebody would man a phone, very secluded, secure room that rarely anybody accessed, as well as wherever they were in town, in their house, calling or receiving the phone calls. And I would go up there, run an errand, and then I would usually have lunch or dinner, and I would talk with the boss Sam, and we had a good relationship. And you'd see the people. I was friendly with most of the guys, the crew members that would come and go. And on Monday or Tuesday, they'd be talking about their bad beats. You know, that quarterback is a bum, or that receiver. How could he drop that pass? You know, all these bad beats, and their horns are real ripe, and they just want to kill somebody. And it's just like, and the boss, he didn't like to hear about that. You know, like John Gotti was the biggest degenerate gambler around. John Gotti would blow hundreds of thousands of dollars on games, tons of money, and they'd pay. They'd pay. I mean, there was honor. There was honor, but a lot of them didn't like their crew members gambling, doing drugs, and everything like that, because you want to run an efficient, clean operation. Some mob families stayed stricter to those guidelines than others, but most of the families, whether they like to, most of them dealt in drugs. I mean, it was an easy hustle for them. And a lot of the crew members and associates did drugs and partied and everything else. You got these guys in their young guys in their 20s and 30s that are making $2,000 a week, $3,000 a week, and they're doing side deals outside of the mob organization, which could get them killed, but they still did it anyways. But you know, they were going out, partying, doing drugs, womanizing, and then they'd blow their money. And there was always card games going on, dice games going on, and it just gamble, 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 gamble. Gambler's paradise. And I used to go to a couple of the card games and hustle and try to make some extra money and hang out. It was fun at first. Money was okay. But then it just got like being around these guys, some guys, being around most of them, everything's nice and cool. Everything's nice and cool. But it's just a couple of bad apples that you want to be around these guys. They're pissed off. They lost their money. And they got a gun on them. And they're drunk. And that's not a good recipe. As the night went on, 1 o'clock in the morning, I'd be like, all right, see you guys. See you next time. And then like one would say, no, Jojo, stick around. I might need a ride later. And it was like, And they were just betting the money on that table. And then they had another guy that would sit in the parking lot, security guy that would see everybody coming, you know, who's going to come upon this club, this restaurant. Because a lot of times people tried to rob card games. People would try to rob them card games. And when there was a high limit game going on, a lot of the players, regular citizens, there's regular citizens and gangsters playing the high limit card games. They would have some of the regular citizens would say, is there security there? Well, yeah, there's security. There's a guy with a machine gun no one's going to get in there without getting checked. And somebody tried it in Rochester. And it might have been even a crew from another family that they got brave and they tried to Because at the card game, if there's 6 people, 7 people, 8 people, or there's 2 card games going on at the same time, and there's 10 people, there could be close to $100,000 in that room. And everybody knows that, who's privileged to that information, and you might get some cowboys out there that say, let's try to rob it. And I heard there was a couple of instances, and one time it was actually a degenerate drug addict gambler that was a brother to one of the guys playing the game. And they came in with the gun, like it was a different area. This was at another spot. It would have never happened at this other place. But they wore a mask, and they took the mask off, and it was one of the guys' brother. And then they thought he was in on it, and it was a whole lot of trouble. But I wasn't close to that situation. But if somebody could do it right, I don't know. But there was like 2 lines of defense. Whoever comes in the door to get in, you got to get in that door. And you got to enter. So there's eyes on the parking lot. There's eyes on the door. There's an armed person sitting, maybe even in a van where he can look out. And and it was secure. Nobody's going up there. But these guys just gambled all week. And now the government took over. Everything's legal. Everything's legal. There's still bookies. There's still bookies out there for high rollers and some low rollers, but because some people don't want the government and these casinos knowing their business. They just don't. And there's legitimate people that want to bet big money, and then there's illegitimate people that hustle and make big money, and they just don't want to have to show their ID when they make a bet or cash a ticket. So that is that. I have not one visitor here. Sunday morning. What's going on here? I'm lonely. Yeah, people. Well, I guess I'm going to end it there. I just wanted to put this together and talk about the gambling, the bookie, the bum. Just get something down. If you're gambling, if not, well, no. And I hope you guys have a good week. Whether you're gambling or not, have a good week. And if you prosper, have some good things. Connect to the creation. I got to do that. I got to do that. It's Sunday, and I need help from the creation. I need all the help I can get because I got some problems, mental problems. All right. I wish I had an editor so I could edit all that bullshit out of there and look like a mature, responsible communicator. It's just not JoJo, folks. I am pleased with you, my child. Allow yourself to become fully aware of my pleasure shining upon you. You don't have to perform well in order to receive my love, because I don't perform good all the time, Creator. But thank you for still giving me love. In fact, a performance focus will pull you away from me towards some sort of Pharisaism. I don't know that word. This could be a subtle form of idolatry. Worshipping your own good works. I did good, Father. Can you worship me and send me some blessings? It could also be a source of deep discouragement when your works don't measure up to your expectations. Now, the flip side of it is I failed at some things. Shift your focus from your performance to my radiant presence. Okay. Shift your mentality to the opposite way. Try it. It's free. Not that you're going to hustle the creator or manipulate blessings. No, it don't work. When you're a gambler, you try it, but it don't work. The light of my love shines on you continuously regardless of your feelings or behavior. Your responsibility is to be receptive to this unconditional love. Thankfulness and trust are your primary receptors. Thank you, Father, I woke up. Thank you, Father, I have shelter and all my everything I need. Thank you. I forgot the other light over here. I forgot the other light. What a knucklehead. I do have a brain injury, if you haven't noticed by now. Hit the like button. Communists. Thank me for everything. Trust in me at all times. The simple disciplines will keep you open to my love and presence. All right, folks. Thank you for your support. We're flying towards 300 subscribers. And hit the like button while you're here right now. All right, I'll wait. Did you do it? All right, you didn't? It's all right. Thanks for watching, folks. We're rising up. I really heartfelt also. Hey, Mario, how's it going, buddy? I appreciate everybody's support. So, I forgot my light. I still had cobwebs in my head. I forgot my lighting. The game's starting a half hour. It's cold and windy here. We got a ton of snow, but we're doing it. We're doing it. So I want everybody to stay safe and stay blessed. And the world is a vampire. You know, it wants blood, but to just connect a little to the creation force and see if that makes things easier. I don't know. I'm not psychic, but be the kings and queens of your world. Don't give up. Don't give up. If somebody needs help, like shoveling out, help them out if you could. I'm not. I had enough to do with my own car. If there's an able-bodied person, yeah. Thank you, Mr. Mario Mendez, the great Mario Mendez. Hollywood name. I'm just Jojo, the dog-faced boy. So during the week, you can't hustle the creator. And it's like, oh, well, if I show love and compassion, creator, then maybe I could have some blessings. Well, what do I interpret my blessings as? Winning when I gamble. Oh, thank you, God, I won. God don't play that shit. It ain't what it's for. It's for your health of you and your family. I do ask for blessings for my family. But sometimes I get sidetracked and it's like, I need a blessing for monetary reasons because money does come in handy, as we all know. So if there's any token, because love and compassion is the money that could get you after this life, maybe get you into some other reality, a good reality, afterlife reality. That's the real money. We're all going to live and die. And you can't buy a ticket to what you might perceive as a heaven or whatever. But they're not selling tickets for that. Well, how would one might try to get there? Well, the only currency they use is love and compassion. Well, how could they keep track of every human being or whatever? How would they do that? Well, it's recorded in your heart. It's a data card. I should be charging for this information. Buy the book. Buy the book. Buy the book. I had a rough week gambling, all right? There's bologna in my refrigerator. Nah, I'm just kidding. The creator gives me what I need. The creator gives me what I need. So that's that. Uh don't wear black, Jojo. You might get that. It might end up having dandruff. What the So I appreciate the people coming in here. I'm rising up, and it's a lot of fun that I have good people that come in here, and we throw things around, and it's all good stuff. It's humanistic, and I know people struggle, and I was given extra time here on this earth, and I have to try to raise people up. This isn't a gangster channel. I do it to draw the people in because the world has a big mafia appetite, and I'm going to keep throwing in stories, but that's just not me. I wasn't a tough gangster guy. I knew a ton of people, but I wasn't a pushover, but I'm not running to violence. I'm running from violence. Some people run to it, but no, I do the channel, and whatever my content is, I made a deal with the creation that I got to try to share a good word. And I know the spiritual devotion at the end of the show, people tune off to, but I'm still going to do it. Because sometimes there might be a person that needs help and inspiration, and it might be only a cup of JoJo that tries to give them strength. Some people don't have a support system. Some people can't lean on other people when they're in a crisis. So that's the least I could do for having my life spared when I was dead. So it's not a task for me. I enjoy doing it. And the creator will be well pleased. Well, I need to win some money, creator, all right? For crying out loud. I gave you back your life, JoJo. Ain't that enough? Yes, it is. I'm sorry. Oh, Lord have mercy. Forgive me, Father, for I don't know. I just don't know. But money's money and life is life, and money comes in handy. But it's nice to have friends you can laugh with and joke around with and support each other. I mean, what else is there? What else is more valuable than that? What else is more important than that? So that's that. All right, we're gonna end it there. Thank you, the great Mr. Mario Mendez. He's got a new picture coming out, and he's got a new movie coming out. Got $1 million name. So we'll finish it up there. So just a quiet show today. Talk about booking the betting lines and gambling things and everything else. So you got the spiritual devotion, and more or less the devotions are the same as like the creators offering the support, divine support, and all the people have to do is lock into it. It seems very simple, but in real life, it's a million miles away. People aren't spiritual. People just aren't spiritual until there's a medical crisis, and then it's please God, please God, please God. They're not spiritual until there's a crisis, and then what do they do first? Beg to God. Like I said before, if you're not in a relationship, then how are you going to derive something from a relationship if you're not in a relationship? You can't just go up to a girl and kiss her if you're not in a in a current relationship with her. you can't receive the benefits. Yeah. Yeah, I got to pull back the reins, Mario. I've been getting a little crazy, and I don't have money. A cup of JoJo does not have money, and I get crazy, and I have addictive gambling behavior, and I got to monitor it down. So, we want to ask the Creator for miracles and blessings, but it'd be a lot smarter and easier if you were in a relationship. Everything starts with relationship. Everybody that comes in here is in relationship with their mother, their father, their wife, their husband, their son, their sister, their daughter, their brother, their cousin, their aunt, their uncle, their grandfather, their grandmother, their grandchildren. Everybody's in relationship. And families fight with each other right to the grave without ever mending and saying, I love you. So we could build up our relationships if it's possible, and people really care enough about those relationships to mend them. Because life is short, and you never know the next time you're going to see that person or not. So that's that. If people are gambling and betting, I hope you guys make a score. I'm pulling back the reins. I'm got to lick my wounds, and I got to chill out. I can't be crazy. Just can't be crazy. So thank you, Mr. Mario Mendez. Thank you, Leon. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, the people that come in here. I appreciate everything. Let's have a good day today. And whether you win or lose, I got my freaking face caved in all week long gambling. But you know what? At least I'm alive to be able to lose money. Beats being dead. So, but it still hurts though when you lose and you're out of control and you don't have a lot of money. But I'm not going to let that affect me having a happy day. That's all. So be the kings and queens of your world. Hit the like button, share button, subscribe, and all that. I appreciate your support, folks. See you, Mario. I do appreciate your support. Stay great, my man. Stay great. These are the thinkers. And be the kings and queens. Life gets tough, and don't give up. Don't ever give up. The world will throw punches and want to keep you down, want to mess with you. But no, we can always plug in to some creations, divinity, and relate. So thank you, folks. I appreciate your support. And we'll be back tomorrow, and stay safe. If you're in the Northeast, stay warm. And I'll talk to you soon. Thanks a lot, folks. I appreciate it.